Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, where we decode the cryptic language of corporate filings, and today we're rediving into SL Green Realty Corp. Latest report, it's almost like they've given us a sneak peek into the future. With these dates, you know the 15th of October 2025 reporting results for the quarter ending September 2025. Let's see what story these numbers tell us. Will they be singing praises or singing the blues? And before we get into the juicy details, make sure you hit that subscribe button for regular corporate deep dives and join our Discord community linked down below. It is the place to be for all things finance. So here we are looking at a Form 8K filing from SL Green Realty Corp, dated the 15th of October 2025, essentially a current report telling us about important stuff that happened right away. This is a big one in the world of real estate investment trusts, or REITs. SL Green is a major player in commercial office properties, specifically in New York City. Think of them as owning and managing a bunch of those iconic tall buildings that make up the city skyline. Their stock ticker is SLG, and they have a couple of different types of stock registered. You have their common stock, which is what most people buy, and then they also have preferred stock, which is like a special kind of stock with fixed dividend payments. The report itself is triggered by announcements made on the 15th of October 2025 detailing their financial results for the quarter that ended on the 30th of September 2025. This is where the rubber meets the road for investors trying to understand how the company is performing. Now we get to the heart of the matter, the results of operations and financial condition. Essentially, this section tells us how the company did financially. They've put out a press release announcing their quarterly results, and because some of the supplemental information is just too much for a press release, they've also included a more detailed package. Both of these are attached to this report as exhibits. This is where things get interesting for anyone trying to really understand a REIT's performance. They talk about a few special ways of looking at their money that aren't exactly standard accounting measures. First up is funds from operations, or FFO. This is a really big deal for REITs. The official definition from the National Association of Real Estate Investment Trusts, or NARE, says FF starts with net income, which is what the company officially earns according to standard accounting rules. But then they add back things like gains or losses from selling properties, and any charges for properties that have lost value. They also add back depreciation and amortization, which are accounting ways to spread out the cost of an asset over its life. Why do they do this? Well, they believe that for real estate, especially office buildings, the value doesn't always go down in a straight line like accounting depreciation suggests. Real estate can actually increase in value over time. So FFO is meant to give a clearer picture of the actual cash generated by their ongoing operations and rental income. It helps investors see the real operational performance without the noise of property sales or accounting adjustments for depreciation. They use it to see how things like occupancy and rental rates are really affecting their business. Next is funds available for distribution, or FAD. This is even more granular than FFO. It takes FO and makes further adjustments. Think of it as getting closer to the actual cash a company has left over after all its operating expenses and necessary investments to keep the properties in good shape. This calculation includes things like subtracting out straight-line rent adjustments and adding back things like free rent periods. Ultimately, FAD is presented as a way to look at the company's liquidity, the cash they actually have available. Then we have EBITDA, which stands for earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization for real estate. This is another measure that's important for understanding a company's ability to handle its debt. By adding back interest, taxes, and those depreciation and amortization figures, it gives a clearer view of the company's operating profit before considering financing and accounting charges. This helps assess how well the company can cover its debt obligations. Finally, we have net operating income, or NOI, and cash, NOINO. I basically looks at the income generated from properties after deducting operating expenses, but before things like interest payments, taxes, and general administrative costs, cash NO. Makes some further adjustments to reflect actual cash received from rent. These measures are very useful because they focus purely on the performance of the properties themselves, telling us about the trends in revenue and costs directly related to their real estate operations. Following those financial measures, they also provide coverage ratios. These are important for understanding how well SL Green can manage its debts. Fixed charge coverage and debt service coverage. Ratios basically tell us how much operating income they have compared to their fixed payments for debt and leases. This gives a good indication of their financial flexibility and their ability to meet their financial obligations on time. And finally, we have the signatures. This part is essentially the official sign off by the company leadership attesting that the information provided is accurate to the best of their knowledge. Matthew J. DiLiberto, the Chief Financial Officer, has signed this report on the 16th of October 2025. Now let's talk about what this all means. SL Green Realty Corp is reporting its results for the quarter ending the 30th of September 2025. While the report itself doesn't give us the specific numbers for FFAD or NOI for that quarter, it clearly lays out how they calculate these important metrics. The fact that they provide these non-GAAP measures suggests they want investors to look beyond the traditional net income. For a commercial office REIT like SL Green, which operates in a market like New York City, understanding FFO and NOI is crucial. These figures give a much better sense of the underlying profitability of their properties. The dates, the 15th of October 2025 for the announcement and the 16th of October 2025 for the filing of the report, indicate a very timely release of information, which is good for transparency. Looking beyond the filing itself, we know that the office real estate market has been facing significant headwinds since 2020 with the rise of remote work. Companies are rethinking their office space needs, and this can impact occupancy rates and rental income for landlords, like SL Green. The detailed breakdown of their supplemental measures like FFO and FAD suggests they are acutely aware of these challenges and are trying to provide investors with the best possible tools to assess their resilience and their ability to generate cash flow even in a shifting market landscape. The focus on coverage ratios also highlights that managing their debt load is a key priority. In conclusion, SL Green appears to be using these non-GAAP measures to paint a more realistic picture of their operational performance in what is a dynamic and challenging real estate market. The key will be to see the actual numbers when they release their detailed supplemental package to truly gauge their financial health and strategic direction. Alright, that is our deep dive into SL Green. latest report, what is your take on these reporting methods and what do you think is next for the office real estate market? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this analysis helpful, do us a favor and smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more corporate insights. And as always, join our Discord community linked in the description for more discussions. Thanks for watching. See you next time.